class? Hmm. Date picker solution means what? That UI, what we covered a day before yesterday. Hmm. Hmm. But you did that code, right? You have written that code. I mean, in front of me, I helped you, and you have written that code. Okay, okay, fine. Vanilla, you have any doubt? Okay. So today we'll cover how we can fetch data or read data or do some manipulation uh, in database using Java code. This is not through Selenium, but using Java code. Always remember, Selenium is only for web browser automation. Okay, web browser automation. So, hmm. So let's see how to, step by step, how we can create a connection with the database using Java, and how to read some data. I have deployed one database on my local, okay, my local machine. You can also do that. You can first install the MySQL in your system, and then you have to install MySQL Workbench. But there is a catch. Catch is uh, you only install if your system is performing good. Okay, otherwise it is a good amount of, it will take good amount of memory, and your uh, I mean it may slow down your system. Okay, so only install these if you are sure about your your system's configurations and all. Okay, so anyway, I am showing you it will anyway work whenever you will work with your client, right? Client machine, or in your office. This is going to work, and this is the way we still automate. There are many ways to fetch data, um, but right now most of the people, not most of the people, it's 100% of people use this JDBC connection to fetch the data. Okay, JDBC connection to fetch the data. Okay, fine. So if you can see, I have one database called training, database schema called training, and inside that I have one table called employee. So if I am doing this select star from employees, then I am getting these values. Okay, I am getting these values. So it's pre-populated value. I populated it during my previous training session, but we are good, right? We are good on this. Okay, main thing is your Java code. Okay, so let me create one class here. and the class name is database um, utility dot java, database utility dot java. Okay, this is a class. Now in before going to java code, we have to import the driver of the whatever whatever database we are using, correct? So in my case I am using uh, MySQL database. So we will uh, download MySQL Maven dependency. So let me, it's a MySQL connector Java, and latest version is 8.0.33. Okay, so one more thing, whenever you will get some softwares or libraries from a Maven database, right? Maven site, you will get this vulnerability, one, two, three, these vulnerabilities you will get. So don't pick these versions with vulnerability. Only pick the versions which do not have any vulnerability. Okay, so this is a security things basically. Okay, I think this is the uh, this we can use MySQL connector Java 8.0.33. I am sending here in the chat so that you can at least write the program. No, you just do it in I mean you have to paste it in pom.xml. Just how we did for common IO, right? Apache common IO. The same way we have to do it. We have to import the library through pom.xml. So it is now we got the softwares, correct? Pom.xml is in project folder only. Okay, now see how we can write the code. Okay, so suppose this is a main method. Okay, now first we have to create a JDBC URL. Okay, string JDBC URL equal to so see, there is a predefined structure JDBC colon the type of your database. In my case it's MySQL. Okay, now colon, now where you deployed, in my case I have deployed the database in my local host, so here it will be local host, right? Colon the port number. If you see, the port number here is 3306. By default port number, can you see this 3306? So localhost 3306. Okay, 3306, and then my database name I think I have given training. Okay, so I have to put here training. That's it. This is my JDBC URL or database URL. Okay, now I have to I forgot what is the username and password. Okay. Mhm. It's a root and root, I think. Root and root, I think. Anyway, let me try. String username equal to root string password equal to root. Okay, so username password we have just declared. Now the query string, the whatever query we want to run, so we can just declare it like string query equal to, let's say, select star from employees. Okay, select star from employees. Because employees is a table here. Employees is the table, right? Now we have to create, we have to write a try catch block. Inside try catch block, we have to create a connection. Even we can do it here also. So this is my connection. Okay, see, this is the connection, Java SQL. Okay, connection equal to null. For now I am just declaring the variables, connection variable. Okay, then statement is from Java SQL. It is again statement equal to null. These are just declaring, the variables are getting declared. And then we need a result set. Yes, Java SQL, and this is result set equal to null. We have declared everything. Now we have to make a connection of the database, right? So load, first we have to do what? Load the JDBC driver. Okay, load the JDBC driver. Okay, for that we have to write this way. Okay, so class dot for name. Okay, class dot for name. Here you have to pass this JDBC driver string com dot mysql dot cj dot jdbc dot driver. This is this one you can search from internet, by the way. Don't bother to remember all this thing. Okay, now the main thing, connection. We have to create a connection. Okay, this connection variable we have to implement. So driver manager Java SQL's driver manager. Okay, driver manager dot get connection JDBC URL, username and password. That's it. Okay, this way we are establishing the connection. Okay, we are establishing the connection between your Java code and your JDBC driver or your Java database, basically. Okay, now next is we have to create the statement. Okay, statement equal to, so connection variable, this connection variable dot create statement. Okay, the statement we are creating, create a statement. Okay, this is for creating the statement. Okay, this is for creating JDBC connection with DB, right? Next thing, next is coming to result set. Okay, so in result set, we are having equal to statement dot execute query, query execution, whatever query we have written now, we will be executing that query. So first thing, what we are making a connection with database, then we are creating a statement, and then we are executing the query. Okay, and next thing is let's say by iterating this result set is you are getting the result here. Okay, now using this result set you can do any search. Okay, suppose in here while result set dot next, रिजल्ट सेट में अगर वैल्यू है कोई, रिजल्ट सेट में अगर कोई वैल्यू है, ओके, तो हम लोग उसको फेच, वी विल फेच दैट. ओके, we will fetch that data. So how to fetch that data? First we have to check the type of the data. So type of the data is basically all string, I think. I mean only ID is different. ID is your integer. Other than that, it's a date is date type, and salary is in decimal. Okay, so let me do like this. Let's say I want to fetch the ID. So int ID equal to result set dot get int, get int, get int. Now the column name is ID, right? It's simply column name is ID. If you see here, the column name is ID. Okay, now next, if I want to get let's say first name and last name, so string first name equal to result set dot get string value. This is first underscore name. This is, I think, the column name, right? Okay, so first name. The same way we can get string last name or last name equal to result set dot get string last name. Okay, like that. Okay, now we can print it. We can print using here we can also print it like sysout. We are printing, let's say first is ID, then a space, okay, and then first name, then again a space, and last name. Okay, so ID, first name and last name will be printed for each and every row. Okay, each and every row, right? Now the exception will be SQL exception. Okay, SQL exception, not other exception but SQL exception. And what is this? This is class not found exception. Okay, so here we will put another catch using class not found exception, or we can use the same catch and we can use this particular whatever pipe, right? Pipe, you can say pipe symbol to separate either SQL exception or class not found exception. And here we'll put some some sysout statement we'll put, and we'll put e dot get message, right? Whatever error we'll get that in the message and we'll print out, right? So this is how we create a, 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 a code to fetch data from database. Okay, now this or actually running any script, okay, running any SQL query. So this query could be anything. Okay, this query could be delete, this query could be create table, this query could be anything. So any query can be ran from this particular code, and we will create this as a utility. So let me run it and see if it is working. Okay, access denied for root local host. Maybe using password is yes. I think the password I am passing is wrong. So let me check in my previous code what is the password. Password I forgot. Document, this is August batch, the automation project. My SRC test Java coding digest. Okay, common web methods, web driver in it, common methods, no. Fetch database, okay, DB connection, right? Open with some text edit. Let's say password is different. Password I am putting something different. Okay. Now see, I am getting this 1 John Doe, do Kushbu Verma, number 3 Pritam More. Okay, so if you are putting some other data also, right, using this insert command, okay, this first name, last name, email, hire date and salary. So suppose here your name is Rupali. Surname, last name is P, and this is your whatever. Okay, so if I am running it, it will insert, and suppose I am inserting another वनीला का सरनेम क्या है? हाँ, anyway, K. Okay, so this will be your another insert statement. Okay, so those got inserted, and what is that? Execute the statement on the keyboard. Where is commit? Is there any commit? Toggle, no. Commit. Okay. COMMIT commit. Commit. Okay, so we have committed, and then let's see what are the data we are getting now. Mm. So your names are getting listed, right? Now if you run this program again, if you run this code again, you will get your names also, right? These 4 5 id are auto generated. I have created the database like that, so that id would be auto generated, primary key, and it will be unique value, and your names got added. Okay, the same way you can fetch some other data. Okay, other data means what are the other data? Email, right? Email, hire date, and salary. So let's do like this: string, hmm, string. Let's say email equal to result set dot get string. Here email, what is the column name, exact column name? It's email, right? Okay, so here if you write email, the email will be printed for all the users. Okay, for all the employees. See, for all the employees you are getting this things. Okay, so this is how we fetch data from database. Now this data can be stored in inside a list or list of list. Okay, this data can be stored inside a list or a list of list. Can you do that? I mean, you can't do that, but I mean, can you give me some suggestion that how it can be done? I want it in a tabular form. Okay, list of list, uh, list of list. List will be a linear, right? List will be a linear thing. This list will be a linear, right? So suppose this is object, or let's say list of string. Okay, list of string. So this is a linear, right? So to get the two-dimensional thing, we can have list. Okay, list of list, like this. Okay, list of list. So let's create this list of list here outside the loop. Okay, and let's say this is table equal to new array list. Okay, and this is the outer list. Okay, and the inner list we have to declare a list, right? List of what? List of string. List of string. This is the row, basically all the rows. Okay, equal to new array list. New array list. Now for each and every iteration, we will add this list. Okay, add this data. So here this is what is a row, right? Rows dot add what? Rows dot add id. Id cannot be done because it's a integer, but we have to convert it to string. Okay, we have to convert it to string. So how to do that? It's a string dot value of id. This is how we convert an integer to string. Okay, string dot value of id. Okay, now rows dot add first name. This will be direct. Rows dot add last name. Rows dot add this is email. Okay, email, and then at the end, we will add this table. Okay, this table dot add rows, right? In the end of the all addition or all rows addition, we will add this table dot add rows. Okay. Rows dot add string value of id. Okay, id is what? Id is integer, right? We are converting into string. Okay, we are converting into string. Okay, so this list should be refreshed after each iteration. So this should be declared inside the loop. Okay, otherwise the long row will get. Correct. Now this is the list. Okay, this is the list of list we received. Now you have to give me the code. You have to give me the code to print any list. How to print the list? दिमाग लगाओ, दिमाग. Suppose a list, you have one list. So how to print, how to see what is the data inside it? What is the for loop you will use? Or other than for loop, you can use anything else also. So what is that you will use? Okay. Can you just come again? What is? I did not get that. Uh, 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 mm, mm. That is very, I request, think more. Okay, think more. If you are using that index based for loop, okay, then what about for each loop? What about lambda expression, right? Lambda expression. What is lambda expression? Don't know. I covered it day before yesterday, or just before starting this particular automation session. Or no, during the during the for loop things, I covered it. Lambda expression. Vanilla. No, you remember? Okay, fine. So using lambda expression, let's see how to do that. Okay, so list of list is now table. Okay, table dot for each. Okay, table dot for each. uh, we have to get the okay, so it's a rule uh, for each and every row, dot for each, dot for each, we are going to, suppose this is my item, this is my item, sys out item. Actually it's not sys out, it's system.out.print, because it will print like row wise, right, row wise, correct. And this is my, and we have to put a space so that it is printing properly. Okay, table for each, table dot for each row, then arrow function, row dot for each item, then inside loop we are getting it. Okay, so or rather it will print all of this thing. Okay, and then here it is. Just a minute, to Z. Now we have to put a next line for each row. So it's simply sys out system.out.println, blank system.out.println, right? So now if we run it, first we have to do a format document. So the document is formatted and now we are running it. See, the same thing we are getting, right? But we are printing in a list of list, or we are putting this in a list of list, and this list of list can be used throughout the program. Okay, throughout the program. Got it? See, for first this ID is 1. Okay, just a minute. Wait, just a minute. Where is that? See, in the first row, it's in the first row, its ID is 1. Oh, what is that? Why it is happening like this? Just a minute. What is happening in the Something is happening. Okay, fine. Let me type it here, or draw it here. Okay, so first row, what you are getting, right? The first row will be like this. So here you will get uh, ID, first name, last name, email ID, and salary. Correct? This is the first row. This is the first row. And for second row, the same thing will happen. The second row, same thing will happen. Sorry. Same thing will happen. Third row, same thing will happen. Now this is, I am assigning this first row in a list. Means in a list we will have ID, first name, last name, email ID, and correct. Hmm. Correct. Right. So, correct. All of these lists will go into another list. All of these list, row list, will go into another list, which will be called list of list. List of string. What it contains? String. So list of list. What it contains? That list will contain lists. List. Right. Understood? Okay. Okay. Try to practice this. Okay. Try to practice this lambda expression. The lambda expression will save many lines of codes. Okay. We have covered at the time of loops, for loop. No, anyway, with that loop. Otherwise, see, this is kind of okay. That's a okay. I'll cover again. Okay, I'll cover again. But how to use, how to iterate the list, and how to iterate any array list, arrays, I have shown for sure. Whatever I how I mean, I can remember that. So anyway, practice it. Otherwise, you can also do using normal for loop. Okay. So see, this is outer for loop, and this is the inner for loop. Correct. So same way you can do that, right? Same way you can do that. So outer for loop will be what? Let's say I have one for, okay, for each loop. We'll use for each loop. Now this list of string, list, this table, right? So what will be the type of the elements? It's a list, right? That is fine. So inside that we will have another for each loop, correct? Another for each loop. So in this for each loop we'll have only string, right? We'll have only string data type, correct? And here it will be the list dot only list, that's fine. Okay, only list. So whatever inner list it will get, it will just print. Now you have to print it. You have to print it by, I mean, how you can print it? It's simple, right? Sys out list 2, just put, and it's not println, it should be print. And outside the inner for loop we will have one sysout statement for new line. So if you, even if you are not using this um, lambda expression, no? You can also get this like I mean get the data like this. See the same result we are getting, right? So even if you are not using for each, I mean that lambda expression, you can use this for each loop. But try to avoid index based for loop, because that can have some index out of bound, array index out of bound, or exceptions kind of thing. If you are mistakenly putting some equal to, less than, equal to, something like that. Okay. Okay, so you copied the code, or I'll put it in the chat. Yes, you have to install MySQL, but always, I mean, always do it as per your system's response. Your system is too slow, then don't do that. Only practice the code, not required. Okay, only practice the code. Okay, practicing the code will suffice. And when you will go to any industry, when you will go to any company, right, so they will provide all these cloud based database and all these host urls and everything you will get. Okay, so you can use there. I request don't install database in your system. It will slow down your system. Hmm. You will get only syntax, but that is fine, right? It's a small code. It's a small code. You have all these things, right? I mean, this dependency and all you have imported. Uh, this is the first. Okay, till result set. Okay, the next section is this try till hold. Hmm. Okay, the next section is while. Hmm. And then also you take the lambda expressions code. Okay, lambda expressions code. Is Nirmal joined? Not joined, right? I think Nirmal will not. Hmm. Okay, fine. So next we will find read how to read JSON file. Okay, and the JSON file we will use many things. Okay, reading JSON file we will use many things. Okay. Try is there. Here is a try. I have copied it. The second message, I think I have copied. Yeah, see. Okay. Uh, Let me know once you are done so that we can go for JSON reading. Let me create a JSON file first. Mm, so it's employee dot json. Okay, employee dot json. So let me put it in the project folder itself. Okay, and here the JSON structure will be like this. Okay, so this will be my ID equal to any ID, right? Any ID, email, root folder I have created. xyz dot anything dot com, xyz at the rate anything.com. That's it. So any JSON file, JSON structure you are aware, right? Vanilla and Rupali. This is a JSON structure. Okay, this is a JSON structure where data we write data with key and value structure, key and value pair. We can also we can also put the number here. Okay, so ID is ideally 1 2 3. Suppose address. Okay, and address is, let's say, Pune. So this is a overall JSON, a small simple JSON. Okay, JSON file. We have to first find out how to. The JSON file would be mostly the JSON file would be the data set, your data set, right? We will use data this JSON files as data set. So how to fetch the data and use these data throughout the program, okay, throughout the program. So for that we have to write a Pojo class, okay, Pojo class. Okay, we talked about encapsulation. How many of you remember encapsulation? What is encapsulation? Hmm. OOPS concept, Java OOPS concept, encapsulation. Don't search. I have struggled a lot to make you understand. Okay, fine, no worries. Encapsulation is you have to you have to you have to hide the data. Okay, you have to hide the data, and you will give some implementation of data using some getters and setters method. Do you remember? Using getters and setters method, you will provide. Suppose for this case, right, we have to create a Pojo class. Pojo class means a class with all with any, you know, with any encapsulated class basically. Okay, so this is my Pojo class, or let's say JSON Pojo class dot Java. JSON Pojo class dot Java. Now here we have to create all private private variables. So what is a private variable? So private int, because id is int, we have to create this as int, right? Id, private int id. Okay, private int id. Okay, then private, what is the next? String email, email or what? email ही है ना, email. Okay, next private string address. Okay, so all the variable names should be same in the Pojo class. Okay, so all the variable we are passing here, these are not variables, these are data, will be passing in Pojo class in a private variable. Okay, now how to access this private variable from outside the class? Using getters and setters method, correct? Using getters and setters method. So how to do that? Using just right click on it, go to source action and generate getters and setters method for all. Right? This is the thing we already learned, that we will use these getters and setters method to access these private variables. Correct? Okay, now there is a tweak. Okay, I don't want to give, or I don't want to write all these getters and setters method on my own. I want someone automatically creates it. Okay, I want someone automatically creates it. So for that we will use one plugin, okay, IDE plugin called Lombok. Okay, Lombok Maven dependency. If I have this lombok, the getters and setters method will be created automatically. So we will take this lombok. Okay, we'll take this lombok. I am putting in the chat, just import it using your pom.xml. Go there and use the pom.xml to import lombok. Okay, so it is imported now. Now go to JSON Pojo class and just above the class you put @lombok. Lombok, right? Where is that? Lombok नहीं है क्या? अभी तक आया नहीं है. Okay, fine. Getter. It's there, right? It's @getter, @setter. From lombok we are getting this. I am generating getter and setter method just using this @getter and @setter. Automatically for all these private variables, this getter and setter method will be generated. Okay, I mean that will be invisible, by the way. Okay, but from other class you will get that. So this is how we use it. Now this is your Pojo class, and all with getter and setter method you already got. Okay, now you have to write an utility, okay, to read the data from JSON file, right? We cannot directly read the data from JSON file. We have to use some external libraries. One of the libraries is Json, another is JSON object. So Json would be good. Okay, Json library I have seen. Json library is quite decent. Okay, so this is Json Maven dependency. If you search here, this is Json core, and here you take this 2.17.2. okay, so this is your, I am putting into chat, just import it using pom.xml. So these are all the part of framework designing. Okay, so this is your Json core. Okay, Json core. So let me get that Json core. Or we can also use not Json core, actually we can use Json data bind. Maven dependency Json data bind. So this is your Json data bind. It is either or. I mean, either you can use Json core or Json data bind, or only Json data bind will work. Okay, so let's import both Json data bind and Json core. Okay, now next thing is we have to write a code to read the value from JSON file. Correct, the value from JSON file. See, we have to create a class, let's say JSON reader dot java. Okay, JSON reader dot java, it's a class. Correct. Now here we will create a public static void main, or a main method, or let's say create another method. Also create another method. Method name is public static read JSON value. Okay, read JSON value, right? Hmm. Employee.json is employee. Where is that employee.json? Employee.json is a file. Is a file, right? That JSON file you will read. Huh? Why? See, I mean, you have to tell, right? You are going too fast. Otherwise, I'll go. I mean, I'll code it. Okay, just create it. Employee.json file. You create it in your root folder. Employee.json created, right? Then you have to create this JSON Pojo class dot Java. Okay, created. Now you have to create a JSON reader file dot Java. It's a class we are creating to read the JSON file basically. Yes, com dot automation. Create inside any test Java, you know, this package where we are creating all the classes, right? You create there. Okay, now see how to read the JSON file and then map it with the Pojo class. Okay, so one thing, object mapper we have to import. Okay, we have to create an instance of object mapper is from Json. Okay, object mapper, uh, let's say object mapper equal to new object mapper, and object mapper of, okay, new object mapper, right? Now we'll create a try catch block. And then we'll put, what is the class name we created? JSON Pojo class, right? JSON Pojo class, JSON equal to object mapper dot read value. Okay, read value from where? From this employee.json file. Okay, from that employee dot json file. Okay, and here this would be the class name. Class name is what? json pojo class dot class. Okay, JSON Pojo class dot class. This is actually reading the data from employee.json and mapping to the Pojo class. Okay, suppose ID, against ID it is assigning ID, against email it is assigning email, against address it is assigning address value, etc, etc. Okay, now, okay, so this will be a file. Okay, this will be a file, I think. Just a minute, huh? This will be a file. So here it will be new file. So import okay, this is my file, right? File java io. This is how we read the JSON file. Now, if reading is successful or not, how to check? We can simply print out this JSON object. Okay, we can simply print out this JSON object. If the JSON elements are there, we are good. Okay, system.out.println, this is JSON. Right, and let's not print it. Let's call this JSON reader. Let's call this JSON reader. Okay, first we have to create this read JSON value, right? We have to have this read JSON value. or we can do like this. mm, Read json data dot java. Can you go on mute, whoever? I mean, it's having lots of noises. Okay, so this is my new object mapper. Hmm. Huh. JSON data mapping, and correct. Return data means this JSON data mapping we are returning, right? So we have to call these from anywhere in the project, right? For that, we will use here uh, the return type as the JSON Pojo class. JSON Pojo class is the type, and here let's say this is JSON Pojo class data equal to, let's say, null. Okay, null. And then here we'll put the data. Okay, data, and we will return data from here. We'll return data, right? Return data. And here in the exception we can write, what is the exception we took? The exceptions are data bind exception and IO exception, right? Okay, stream reader exception, stream read exception, data bind exception, and IO exception. Fine. So here stream read exception, data bind exception, and what is another one we got is a stream read exception, data bind exception, and IO exception. Sorry, it's a IO exception. So what is that? The exception return is already caught by IO exception. Okay, so IO exception is not needed, only data bind exception. And what is it? This is for IO exception. Okay, instead of data bind exception we can simply use IO exception. Okay, stream read exception is already caught by alternative IO exception, so only IO exception is needed, I think. Yes, that's it. And here we will put some sysout statement, okay, that could not read JSON file. Could not read JSON file. That's it. Now we will see how to use these data throughout the project. Suppose in some of the my selenium project, selenium thing, right? Here I want to call the data, okay, data from JSON file. So how to do that? It's simple. JSON reader equal to new JSON reader. Okay, now reader dot get, what is that? How we are creating it? sorry, JSON reader we don't have to create, right? We have to create, let's say, our JSON Pojo class. Sorry, JSON Pojo class is reader equal to new JSON Pojo class, and here reader dot get, let's say I want this get email. Okay, get email. Now if we put inside a system.out.println sysout, okay, so like that we can get any data. Let me check if it is printing the email ID or not, or I am missing something. Okay, update to a selenium version that supports CDP. Okay, so it's not getting that. Okay, fine, let me check how to read that. This is somehow okay, this is my data anyway. Okay, now if I go there, JSON data mapping is this. Let me open when using nodes, cancel. Open with text edit. So this is the data. Okay, lombok.data. Okay, and what about the test class? Let me see the test class. This is pages, this is tests. Open with, okay, read JSON data. Read data is null. Okay, so read JSON data, new read JSON data, that is fine. And here JSON data, JSON data is read data dot read data. Okay, okay, fine. See what we have to do. This JSON data equal to read data and read data. Where is the JSON data? JSON data is JSON mapping. See, what we have to do is we have to first where is that? So first thing, this is fine. Next thing is we have to first call the read JSON reader, right? JSON reader. Okay, then it's reader, JSON reader. This is JSON data. Okay, equal to new. I'm explaining, don't worry. So this is your JSON class. JSON data is now will be the reader dot read JSON value. Okay, read JSON value, and then this will be my actual variable get email. Correct, get email. Now this is the static method from the type JSON reader should be accessed in the static way. That is fine, no problem. So if we run it again, it should not be null. See, we are getting this email address from JSON value. from JSON file. This we have mentioned in the JSON file, right? xyz anything.com. The same thing we are getting in our test class, or anywhere in the program we can call this particular function. Okay, now let me do it like this. Okay, so this is JSON reader. Instead of creating any object here, we'll simply put this JSON reader. So I think that will also work. It's working. Okay, so what are the layers we used here? First thing is your JSON file. Okay, first thing is your JSON file. Then we have another class which will be the JSON POJO class. Basically, getter and setter we are putting. Getter and setter means the getter and setter values or methods will be generated automatically. Okay, in the backend, Lombok will generate getters and setters values, getters and setters method. Okay, this Lombok software or Lombok library will generate getters and setters values, getters and setters method for me. Okay. Now, what we have to do, we have to read the data, this JSON file from this JSON file, and we have to map the data into this class. Okay, into this class we have to read the JSON data from JSON file, and we have to map the data into this class. How to do that? Using this JSON reader class. Okay, using Json library we are mapping it. How to mapping it? There is a class called object mapper. Okay, object mapper. This object mapper will map the data to your POJO class. Okay, how? See, the data, this is a JSON POJO class we have created. This is the data means this is the object variable of JSON POJO class. So this is equal to object mapper dot read value. Read value is a internal method in the object mapper. Okay, so read value will take the file name, which file name you are taking, and the class name to which you want to map. The class name to which you want to map the data. That's it. It will return the data. Okay, it will return the data. Now data is which type this data is? This data is a JSON POJO class type. JSON POJO class means this class. Okay, now from anywhere you can instantiate this JSON POJO class. Okay, JSON POJO class, and call the read JSON value which we have written JSON reader class, which we have written inside JSON reader class. So what it is doing, the data, right? The data or the mapped data is now getting transferred in the JSON data type variable. Now using JSON data type variable, JSON data object, we are calling get email. Okay, or also we can also call get id, get id, right? Get address, right? So this all the methods we can use. So we can use this by using the getter methods. We can use all these default values. Now if we want to set some value, okay, I don't want to use this ID, this particular ID. I don't want this 1 2 3. I want my own ID, correct? I want my own. I want to use my own ID. So what we have to do is we have to first call the set method, right? First call the set method. How to do that? this is get, this is set id, let's say, set id equal to, or inside id you can put some, or this is this is not a string, right? Set id, let's say 456 is my id. huh? Then if we run again, then after set id, if I call the get id again, I will get 456. Okay, but if you see, just let it run. See, I'm getting the ID 456, but in the file it is not updated to 456. Okay, it is 123. So all the default data will be passed from this JSON value. Whatever extra data we want to set, right? Whatever extra data we want to set, we can use a setter method and then use getter method. Got it? See, suppose I don't want to use the default value of ID 123. So what we'll do, we will set the value using setter method, set ID 456. Okay, and then we'll use that using get ID. So now when you will do the get ID, it will give you this 456 value, not the 123. But in the file, if you see, in the file it is still 123, it will not change. Okay, it will not change, right? So here how data should be used, all the default and common value will be passed through this JSON file. Okay, and if you want some data to be changed, then you can first use the setter method and then use the get method. Okay, so this is how professional framework fetches the data from a data source, not the Excel sheet. I'm telling you again and again, Excel sheet is not the standard process. Okay. Pojo class you have written, right? This one. Oh, okay. Just try at your end. It should work. Hmm. Import. Hmm. 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 JSON data.java, there is a problem. See. Uh, so, so what is it is saying? Return data. The void method cannot return a value, right? So instead of void, you put JSON Pojo class. It's a type of JSON Pojo class. Instead of void, you just put JSON Pojo class. It's a type of the method. Hmm. J capital, JSON Pojo class. Right. Yes. You understood why we are putting that JSON Pojo class? JSON. No, that is fine, but why JSON Pojo class? Because we have to map the JSON data to the JSON Pojo class, right? We have to map the JSON data, whatever data you have in the JSON file, you have to map those data. We have to read and map those data to JSON Pojo class. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Right. Hmm. Hmm. Click on continue. So your machine, your system is slow, so don't install that MySQL thing. Okay, just practice the code. I mean, the raw code you practice. It could be network problem. It could be anything, right? Hmm. Right. Just refresh the page. Refresh it. Now, what is the action it must perform? Okay, I mean, maybe you got some error then. Just to go, yeah. Just see whether you got this system.out.println thing or not. No, no, just go up. No, you didn't get that because before that only I mean, your application got stuck. So you can run again. It should work. Hmm. No, that is fine. I mean, it's not working right now, but it's fine. Run again. Hmm. Jason. No, that is fine. Exception in thread main cannot invoke automation JSON class get email because the JSON data is null. JSON data is null. Okay. So where how did you got this? I mean, can you show me the code again? Go below. Go below. In this class only. Go below. Yes. Where you have written, right? Okay. Wait. So this is JSON data, JSON reader read JSON value. Okay, so employee.json, can you go to employee.json? Okay, fine. And can you go to the read JSON, JSON reader.java, JSON reader.java? Yes. So object mapper, that is fine. Now next is JSON Pojo class data equal to null. Now data equal to object mapper dot read value. Employee.json, it should be a file, right? New file, write new file. Inside file you have to write this employee.json. I am putting this particular line of code, you just copy. Hmm. Line number 16 you replace by my code. Yeah. Now file, you just import file, java io file. No, java io file. Control space, click control space. Yes, file, then control space, file. No, not like that, control space. Control space. Click on file, or click on after the file. No. Just click on file. Now control space. Right. This is the file. Java IO, first one. Yes, first one. Extra E, yes, correct. Now you can run again. Hmm. What about this database utility? Why it is giving you error? Okay. Now you are getting the data, right? No, again it is null. Again the data is null. Right. Your JSON file is not in the in the what I say, root. You just drag it to the lowmost point. I mean, drag it. Yes. Now keep it right. Now you can run. It should work. It just stuck. Just it's working for you, right? Yes. Just close the browser and try again, Rupali. It should work. Run again. Hmm. Hmm. Then what are you getting now? No, that is fine. I mean, you are. Uh, hmm. Correct. So all these things you are getting, right? Read na what is the exception, because you are searching for some element, that element is not found, or you closed it manually, you closed the browser manually. No such session exception means you have just closed the browser manually. That is why it is saying there is no such session. You have to understand what is these issues are saying. Okay, so for this you need a good amount of practice. The table you add है ना, ऊपर जाओ तो टेबल कुछ ऐड यहाँ तो लिस्ट लिस्ट क्या है वो नाम, rows, the first table, list of list should be table, list of list should be table, line number 29, it should be table. No, not table of list of list, it's the variable name should be table, only table, instead of rows you write table. Hmm. Now this should be fine. What is that? कुछ समझ में आ रहा है ना, आई मीन कुछ चीज मतलब कुछ गलतियाँ, दैट इज फाइन, टुडे वी कैन